Well, hello there, everybody. How you doing today? Are you having a good time? Clap. Are you having a fun time? Clap. We're gonna try to have a good fun time. Just a chill good fun time. Hello, Bunny. How are you today? 45 stream streak and counting. Thank you, TK. Hello, Remster. How you doing today? Before we get too far into anything, just real quick, today's weather, I just went for some chill songs, just some nice relaxing songs. Really set the mood for the stream I'm doing today. We did Beautiful by POD. We did Believe in Yourself, which is the theme song for Arthur, the cartoon. But we did like the Vaporwave version, which is by Hot Dad. Any Hot Dad fans out in the audience? And then we did Sloop John B by the Beach Boys. Hello, what is that? Zigo Gorilla? Disco Rilla. Hot Dad, he's got a couple songs people might know. I think he's probably most famous. Well, no, I'm not sure if I'd say Yeah, because I think like he made some shitpost songs in like the early internet, but he's probably most famous for he made the theme song for Internet Comment Etiquette. If you've ever seen that, the like, big money, salvia, big money, salvia. Get some comfort food today. Unfortunately, my car is still stuck in the snow. I could probably have carved it out today, but I didn't want to go outside. And let me just say, it has been a hell of a weekend. It's been a hell of a weekend, and as I've already told the people on the Discord, I'm not feeling too well. But it's, if I had like a fever, if I was throwing up, it would be easy to cancel stream, because it's like, well, what am I going to do? But if I'm just like tired and I have a sore throat, it's like, well, I can still stream, at least a little bit. It'd probably be better to do that than to fall behind on the stuff I need to do. Snowing at this time of year? Yeah, I'm in the northern hemisphere. It snows during the winter. And if you're not in America, or just not in like, what would it be? Like the entire northeastern central, like if you divided America up into fourths, then like the entire northeastern quadrant got hit with essentially a blizzard. Like, I'm kind of in the middle of the country, and I still had to deal with, like, a foot of snow. And people more north of us and more east of us got, like, several feet. We're talking about people having to, like, dig tunnels to get to their cars. It's probably meant to snow, yeah. The big thing about the reason they call it global warming is or they don't call it global warming anymore. They switched to climate change. Because even though, yeah, it is caused by ocean temperatures rising, the net effect is not simply that it's like hotter, it's that the weather gets more unpredictable. And essentially what we've seen the last several years is that whereas previously, like I remember being a kid, and my parents can like attest to this through most of their lives, winter started in like late November and went until like late February. And it might snow kind of intermittently there. And now it's like, well, it's 60 degrees through most of December. And then in January, there's like the bomb cyclone or whatever it is, where like all the cold air like condenses and then gets released all at once. And then in the middle of January, we have like 2 or 3 weeks where it's just like sub-zero temperatures and like feet of snow all at once. And then by the time February gets around, winter's gone. Don't lose your keys in the snow. I won't do it again. It was 80 on Christmas, a record high. So yeah, like, you know, there's always people who are like, they call it global warming, but it's -3 outside. It's like, yeah, but it's -3 outside for like a week and then 60 the rest of the year, at least. You know, on average, the temperatures have been increasing, and it feels like winter has been relegated to like a 2-week period. You get 2 weeks of winter, and then it's out again. And meanwhile, summer is like 5 months of 100-degree weather. Maybe not 5 months. It's closer to like 2 straight months, but geez and crackers. Anyway, let me get some music on here real quick. This might be really loud for a moment. My apologies. Since we're on here... Okay, how's that, chat? Do you got like nice background music without being too loud? It got pretty bad up here in Canada. Toronto got the most snow in one-day history. It will mess up the stream of warm weather, yeah. But I'm guessing the audio's fine because no one's saying anything about it. Either that or there's like a lag between the stream. I know there's always a little lag, but I thought it was only like a couple seconds. I think you can put the song a little higher. Honestly, kind of quiet, though. That might be a little too loud. How's that? You haven't heard the music yet? Oh, it's been going on the whole time. It's pretty aggressive. They got some crazy drums going in there. But yeah, so we've been snowed in, and like I said, I haven't been feeling all that well, unfortunately. I was hoping I'm better today than I was yesterday, and I'm still not like. Again, you know, people are like, oh, get well soon, Joe. I appreciate it and everything, but again, it's like I'm in that thing where it's like I'm barely sick. I've got a sore throat. Pardon me. I've got a sore throat and I'm tired. I've got maybe like a mild cold. What was it? I'm not sure if it's a mild cold or if it's just I think a bunch of other factors are like going together. I've often talked about how I have I really should ask my doctor to like test me for this, but I'm pretty sure I have like acid reflux disease because I have frequent heartburn that seems to fluctuate from month to month and seems unrelated to what I eat. Although eating pizza specifically does seem to make it worse if I don't take any like heartburn medication beforehand. But yeah, I had a thing. I made the mistake on Saturday of like eating some pizza, and then I was. That's why I think I might have had a cold because I was like kind of fatigued. So I was like trying to work, and I was just like almost falling asleep in my chair. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just take a nap. And so I like laid down, And I think what happens is, like, I got really bad heartburn, but I was too tired to, like, wake up from it. Because when I did finally wake up, there was, like I could feel acid, like, in my mouth. Like, the stomach acid had boiled up, and I guess it was just sitting in my throat for, like, an hour or whatever. Because after that, my throat was just, like, really sore. And it, you know, afterwards I took an antacid, like, that's been fine, my stomach's been fine the rest of the time, but it's like a day later and my throat is still sore. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's just like, really cold out. It's really cold out. I can't really afford to, like, keep this whole house heated up. So, like, it's like a good, like, 60 in here or whatever, but that's still, like, kind of cold. And it's, when you've got, like, zero humidity, essentially. So it's a very dry cold. So if you've got a sore throat, having it be, like, very dry and, like, crackly out, you know what I mean? Like, you ever have it when there's just, like, a really cold, dry day and, like, your sinuses kind of, like, freeze up and then everything gets really sore and sensitive? Yeah, it just kind of, it feels like I might have had a mild cold, and then my heartburn got me a sore throat, and then the combination of being tired, having the sore throat, and having it be, like, dry and cold has just not allowed it to heal as quickly as it normally would have. Someone put it into words. Is the heating that expensive? It's not that it's super expensive, but it's, what was it? So my house is like 100 years old. My house was built in, like, the 1940s. So it does not have really great insulation. So, like, if I turn the heat up to, like, 70 degrees, right, I will be blasting heat, like, the heater will be on almost constantly. Like, if it's if it's, like, 20 degrees outside, keeping the inside 70 costs a lot of money. And I could afford it. It just feels like such a waste because I live alone, right? So I'm, like, heating the whole entire house when I'm the only one here and I'm in one room. So normally what I've been doing is I just have a space heater and I've been bringing that around to whatever room I'm in. So when I'm working right now, the space heater's on the floor blowing on me. And then if I go to sleep or take a nap or whatever, I just transfer it over into the bedroom and I keep that room warm. But the space heater takes a few hours to, like, heat everything up. And even when it does heat it up, it's still, like... And then I go out to, like, the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever. And it's, like, cool. And there's still no humidity. It can be really bad for your teeth on top of your throat. Oh, I know it, brother. My teeth... I was gonna say my teeth are all kind of fucked up, but they're not. I actually have really good teeth now. And that's because, like, these 4 teeth are made of porcelain. That's because I have, like, 5 crowns, 20 fillings, and, like, 2 root canals. But my teeth were really fucked up. Now that's, like, one of the few, like, health things that I really, like, make sure I take care of. Like, I would not like to go through that again. But yeah, okay, so, again, you know, I explained at the beginning, this is gonna be a slow stream. This is gonna be rambly. I'm a little tired. My throat's sore. But the point I was... Oh yeah, we're no longer starting soon. So all of this is to say, the original plan that I posted on the Patreon yesterday was today we would be recording Master Duel Masochist. Because I've actually got, I've got plans with like some friends of mine on this Friday, so I won't be streaming Friday. Fausted XD, thank you for the Prime hype. Pardon me. if you sleep on the right side of your body. Yeah. I've got a bunch of stuff to take. That's the thing, is like most of the time I can manage my acid reflux. I've got like an elevated bed, I've got antacids, I know like proper techniques to sleep on the right side. It's just yesterday I was hit with like really strong fatigue and I just fell asleep like on my back laying flat. Are we doing masochist? Nice. No, we're not. That's what I was getting to. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. So, I originally, the plan was to do masochist today, and then call the poll tomorrow for next month's ladder climb, and spend Thursday learning the ladder climb decks. I do not have the energy to do like a masochist. Like, I think I'm good enough to stream, but I wouldn't want to, like, put this up on YouTube, you know? I don't have enough energy. I can't think of, like, bits, and I can't do any of the singing and stuff I normally do. So I was like, that's fine, though, because oftentimes when we, like, learn a deck, half of that is, like, watching videos on YouTube anyway. The only potential problem with that is... obviously, I said on Monday that we would be closing the poll on Wednesday. If we learn and build the deck today, that means closing the poll a day early. And I would hate for someone to have like seen that and been like, oh, okay, I'll vote on Wednesday. Or I'll vote Tuesday night. And only for them to find out, oops, it's too late, your votes don't matter. That being said, let's go ahead and count real quick. When we go to the voting time, and really importantly, okay, so real quick, let's look at last month. How many people voted? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 23. So 23 votes last month. And this month has 18, 19, 20. 29. So we've already got more, like, I didn't want to end it early, but we've already got more people voting this month than last month. I feel like everyone who can vote has voted already. And I'll just say, like, if you're a $10 patron and for whatever reason you were saving your vote until tomorrow and you feel as though you got gypped by the fact that I ended the poll a day early to change up the schedule, let me know on Patreon and I will give you a refund for the month. It is no problem. It is not a big deal. I completely understand. You join for a certain reward, and if you don't get that reward, you know, I shouldn't get paid. That just seems like a fair business transaction. So I'll put that out. I also wanted to give, like, another 10 minutes for people to vote. And the other thing, too, is that, it's very generous. I don't think it's being generous. It's just doing, you know, the right thing. I feel like it's the least I can do. Who is in the lead? Yeah, so that's the reason I wanted to give 10 more minutes. If there's anyone here who's a $10 patron and you haven't voted yet, you know, here's your final call. Right now, the winner is... let's see. Megalith.
Megalith has 16 votes. Archmage has 15 votes. Azamina White Forest has 13. So, you know, that's the big reason I'm making such a big deal about this, of like, oh, I don't know if I want to end it a day early, is because it was tied until like a few hours ago, and if one other person votes for Archmage, then it becomes tied again. If 2 people vote for Archmage, then Archmage is the winner. Mari, thank you for the 35 months. I don't like this song. We're moving past. DDD is out of contention. Yeah. it did all right, but it's in 4th place. It's fun. I feel like this happens a lot, right? Where like like I remember specifically we got like all the ice what's it called? It's not Ice Jade. Ice Barrier. We got all the new Ice Barrier support in Master Duel, and it felt like all that month all I was hearing was like, ooh, we're gonna do Ice Barrier next month. We're gonna play with like the worst deck. It's got the new support. It can do so many synchros. And then they put out an event. It was like a synchro event or whatever, where they banned everything that was good, and Ice Barrier was one of the loners. And everyone got to play like 3 days of like Ice Barrier mirrors. And then by the time the vote came around, they're like, yeah, fuck that deck. I'm sick and tired of that shit. Yeah, it's such a one-note deck. But people didn't... That's the thing, people didn't know it prior to having to face it in the event, and then they realized. And I think it's the kind of the same thing with DD, right? Like, everyone was excited for DD, it got the new support, break out the spreadsheet memes, and then they played the Legend Anthology, and 1 in every 3 duels was against DD, and they just do now, like, the new support is so good and so consistent, they've just got a linear combo that ends on the same 3 boss monsters. Oh, you have to pardon me. And the thing about the DD boss monsters, right, is that, like, the art-wise, very cool. Effect-wise, very boring. Like, Machinex is kinda cool. Being able to attach something. Headhunter is kinda cool. But having to end on, like, the Link 3 and Siegfried and Wave High King Caesar, it's like, just 3 Omni negates. I see. What variants are there to do with Megalith, Pure, and Adamancipator? I doubt Megamitsu is making a return, right? It might. Shit. That's the interesting thing, right, Chad, is because we went the extra mile to make it into Master with Odeon, we now have to start in Platinum with Megalith. Unless we want to say this is like a Jankmas deck. I'm curious real quick. I'm not going to open this up where you can see it, but let me go ahead and change my Steam account over. Where is the Jankmas account at? The deck is so bad in Tafua. Yeah, like, the thing is I can do what I did with Odeon,
and play like 6 different variants, because there's enough rituals and rocks. I mean, especially if we do it on the main, thing, I still have all my fossil stuff. I can play like fossil fusion. Spam call. They haven't been as bad lately. Okay, let me log into the Jankmas account. It must download 200 megabytes of data. Here, you know what? I guess I'll let you go ahead and see this. Trying again, eh? Food of Summoning Dragon. Easy. I'm gonna play Libromancers. Yeah, but why would we? What do Libromancers offer? Do you love messing with scam calls? No. Because almost all of them are like robots now, so there's not really any point. Okay. So we're in gold this month. When we roll over, if we built... One of the best pure normal rarity decks, yeah. I finally finished watching your Libra climb. Well, it's been like 2 years? Were you watching like a duel a week? Slowly making your way through? Yeah, and so I guess that's really the thing. Maybe I'll have a vote on the Discord to ask. Because I have opened it up where it's like, okay, if we're not going to worry about competitiveness anymore, then it might be, you know, I open up the Jankmas account to whatever deck. Oh, hey, 1 free pack. Might as well get this. Wait, this is the Jank... Yeah, the Jankmas. I always get paranoid and, like, I worry that I'm on the Masochist account. Wow, this must be that streamer luck I've heard so much about. Mikanko. Raiden Uchiha! Thank you for the 45 months. Lots of people doing that, 45 months. I wonder what's so specific about that. What happened 45 months ago? Was that when I started doing Master Duel streams? But yeah, so here's the thing. Megalith, not a great deck. We can experiment on the... Here's the thing, right? Is that, like, unfortunately, because the Jankmas account has so few, like, points and gems and cards in general. If I did play here, we'd kind of be dedicating ourselves to just playing Megalith. Like, I don't have the Adamancipators, I don't have the Fossil Fusion stuff, I don't have Libromancers, I don't have Vendreads. Granted, Vendreads are like an NR deck or whatever. How does it go? I'm alright. So, like, we would be able to win more duels and show off what the deck does better on the Jankmas account. On the main account, we would struggle more, but we'd be able to, like... It's ironic, we'd be able to play more variants, but I doubt something like Megalith Libromancer would be able to steal more than a win or two. I don't think it would be good enough to last an entire stream in Diamond. You record Jankmas in July and June, so it's released in July? Yeah. Okay. I should switch my thing back over. So yeah, I think if we're gonna continue with the variants, we should stick to the main account. It's also, I feel, important to see what the reaction is to the Odeon episode. To see if, like, doing all the various types is something that resonates with the main viewers, or if people would prefer to just go hard in the paint. You'd only be silver in June. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, bronze is so easy that, like, anything can beat bronze. I would struggle, like, most of my, like, AI challenge decks that I played, the challenge decks that I played against the AI would be, like, those would be able to get out of bronze. Like, only spells, or no activated effects. Like, most masochist decks make it out of bronze pretty quickly. I'm worried the viewers, commenters don't really know what they want, and the viewers get the video, will only get to yeah. I mean, that's the thing, it's always tough. It's always a tough balance in any kind of media, but YouTube especially, and with a series like this, where, you know, if I often tell people, like, if a video doesn't get any views, that doesn't mean people watched it and the quality was bad. It means they didn't click on it. So if there's a problem, the problem is either something to do with the title or the thumbnail or the timer, like something that they can see without watching the video, or the show has built up a reputation as being a certain thing, and so people see it and don't want to watch it because they think it's going to continue to be that thing. And that's the most frustrating part, because it's like I could drastically change up the show to function with more goofy decks and do all the different builds, but I kind of have to do that consistently for 6 months or so before it becomes enough of a trend that people start to know, oh, this is what the show is now. If I don't make it to Master 1, I'll give one of you $676. Yeah, we're at least trying with the variety this time. You could give the show a new name. The thing is, the show never had, like, a concrete name. I call it Ladder Climb, but that doesn't appear in the branding or the title of the show. It's always just been like, how far can I get? And the problem, I've talked about this before too, how YouTube works, right, is when you upload a video, first thing it does is send that out to everyone who rings the bell. They get notified. And then, depending on how many of those people watch your video, that determines how many of your subscribers it gets sent out to. Part 1s are boosted, yeah. Right? Like, just because you put out a video doesn't mean it goes to all your subscribers. If you're only subscribed to like 1 or 2 channels, then yes, you'll get all of their videos no matter what. But the more channels you're subscribed to and the more videos that come out, YouTube tries to limit it so that you only get like 30 videos at most. So if the people who ring the bell aren't excited about X video, and someone's already subscribed to a bunch of channels, or the channels they are subscribed to put out a bunch of videos today, then they might not show your video. And then likewise, if they're trying to decide, like, okay, do we recommend this then in other videos, in the sidebar to other people? Whether or not they do that is based on how many of your subscribers watched the video as soon as it was recommended to them. How many of them watched it the day of or the day after it came out. And so what this means, right, is that if I put out a video that is different from what I normally do, it's kind of like dead on arrival, because the people who have subscribed for a specific thing won't watch it, and it won't get recommended to other people because YouTube just sees this is a bad video your audience didn't like, and if your audience didn't like it, why would we give it to random people? Right? And so that's why, like, for example, I've been trying to change how I title the ladder climb videos, because I feel like the, can I make it to Master 1, or no, what was it? So I tried to get Master 1 with X deck. That's what I've been naming them for, like, the first 2 years. And then I've been experimenting with, like, you know, the Super Quantum one was like, the Super Quantum Experience. What's it like to climb the ladder with Super Quantums? And unfortunately, I got comments like a week later from people who were like, oh, I didn't know this was a ladder climb. I would have watched it, but you titled it differently. And so it's like, I'm punished for experimenting because in trying to make a title that appeals to a broader audience, I confuse my main audience and they don't watch it. And so YouTube then thinks it's a bad video. What if you do a thing where Patreon members individually make decks for you to climb with and you randomly choose one? Just one deck and I can't change it? Have a good one, Deutscher. You could do what some people do and put like ladder climb at the end of the title. Yeah. Either that, or I guess that's like where having a logo helps. Maybe I should come up with like a ladder climb logo, and then I can start putting that on the thumbnail to every video. And then people will recognize that regardless of what the title is. If it's something small and unobtrusive I can put in a corner, then hopefully people will see that and understand what they're getting. It was maybe slightly less obvious. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing, right? Is like, again, I always have to say, if you're here on a stream, if you're one of the 100 people who comes out to watch this live, you're like, super fan. You're the top of the top. You're the people who actually think about like, you followed a link to find out where I was streaming and the actual time and everything. There's a lot of people who just, they like my content, but they don't like it that much. And so unless you make it as crystal clear and super easy as possible, they won't make the connection like, oh, it's a 3-hour video with Hardleg on the thumbnail, so it must be ladder climb. Ugh. I keep every once in a while I cough up some phlegm. I think hopefully this isn't getting like too personal or whatever, but it was last night I was coughing and I coughed up a big like thing of phlegm into like a napkin, and then I looked down and there was just like a big glob of blood in it. And I was like, "Oh, coughing up blood is like whenever a movie character does that, that means they're gonna die soon." That's like the worst thing that can happen. And I was like, oh shit, oh fuck. But it hasn't happened since then. It was just the one. That sounds kind of serious. Yeah. Just a touch of the consumption. Hardleg, you're a TV commercial now, am I? You've got anime coughing up blood disease. Yeah, so I don't know what was up with that. Undefined illness. I was on a medication that dried out the mucous membranes. And yeah, if you missed earlier, I was talking about the humidity here is like 1 and it's very cold. And I already have a sore throat. So like, like my nasal passages, my throat is just dry as heck all the time. Segvent DC. Critter, would you like to say something to Segvent? Thank you, Critter. Yeah, so I don't think it's like I've got like lung cancer or whatever. But it's just one of those things now. It's like whenever I feel like a bit of like phlegm or whatever, I'm like, just to be sure, just cough that into a napkin and make sure there's not more blood coming out. If it happens once, it's like maybe it's just an anomaly. If it starts happening more often, that's when you go to the emergency room. Vaseline up the nose, that would smell so terrible. You've been dueling so much, you've taken actual damage. Lung cancer would be really unlucky if you've never smoked. I've never smoked, but unfortunately, my mom did for my entire life, and so did a lot of my other family members. And so did like a lot of the places I worked at, like fast food restaurants, the people would always smoke. So I've been around a lot of secondhand smoke. But anyway, health and coughing and all that stuff aside, inside the restaurant, I worked like late nights. They didn't want to go out and stand in like the darkness or whatever, so they would just smoke in the restaurant. There were always restrictions where I lived when I worked. It's just, it's that thing. What do you mean they're smoking in the building? They're not allowed to do that. Like, yeah, they're still doing it. Okay, so we've given people plenty of chance to vote, and we've been live for about an hour. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it. Megaliths have won. Ooh. Okay. Time to go Mega. And yeah, this is weird because normally what I would do at this point is try to build the deck myself so I could figure out the ratios and like read the cards. But I already know most of the Megalith cards. And we've read everything. Like, I already know it's like 3 of this, usually 1 of this, 3 Fool, 3 of that, maybe 1 of these, maybe 1 of these. You usually got 2 Bethor. I played 2 Phaleg, a lot of people only played 1. And then the big change up is previously you didn't play Araton at all because there weren't enough rituals that you would be ritual summoning during the opponent's turn. But I've seen a lot of where was I? Oh yeah, I was looking up Genesis lists. A lot of Genesis lists are playing like 3 of this. This thing's like an Omni Negate. A lot of people played it too, so you have a backup. And this thing summons out of the it's Fool, but it summons out of the graveyard, so they play 1 of that. Araton's good because of the new spell, yeah. And the new spell is just like discard 1, search 2. and then you just fill up with hand traps. Like the pure deck is just like that. The sad Naruto flute. The music is making me feel wise. Does this play Miracle Raven? I don't know. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to skip to the, rather than build and test and learn a deck, especially because my throat is starting to hurt a little more now because I've been talking a whole lot. We're going to skip ahead to the other part. If you're unfamiliar with these deck learning streams, usually what I do is, again, I build and try to learn the deck myself, but I'm already really familiar with Megaliths, and the new cards don't change up the playstyle that much. So what we're going to do is look up a whole bunch of deck profiles on YouTube, learn some of the modern combos, see what other people are teching in, get a good idea of what possible things we can use, and then I'll use that to come up with like the first build or so. Is everyone ready for the main combo? Yeah. That being said, if you're watching this on YouTube, I do not like to upload just like me watching other people's videos. I give some commentary, but it's not that much. And it just feels wrong to be like, and here's a bunch of other people's videos with my face in the corner. So this part gets cut out of the VOD. Obviously, if you want to see it live, you could just come down to Twitch. I think the Twitch VODs stay up for like 2 weeks or something, so you can't also watch those on Twitch. But yeah, we're gonna do that. Let's see. Megalith 2026. Interesting. TCG. Are you aiming for pure? I'm going to be playing a whole bunch of different stuff. We'll get the 10-minute testing. Moha's got the Mega Mitsu. Budget Duelist, never heard of them. Megalith Drytron. Maybe I should do Megalith Master Duel. And yeah, we'll go ahead and let you see this part. Behold, this guy's got a gun. Candy Chan? Probably not a smart idea to click it. There's Megalith Adamancipator. Onomat Megalith? Interesting. Yummy Megalith. Megalith Fiendsmith. Are these all the same guy? You say likes Megalith. What can I say? Utopian, Megamitsu. Megalith takes over Master Duel. The actual new best deck, Ritual Slop. Okay. That gives us, we got so many tabs, chat. It's like discount tab warehouse. I think we're gonna start with the MBT. I need to go refresh my water. So I'll be back and then we'll start this. Give me a moment. Okay. And we could continue looking, but I think I get the idea, which is there's not a whole lot settled. There's a whole bunch of different builds. We could do almost anything. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to close out of this. Who needs YGO Pro 3? I mean, I do for my other show, but not for this show necessarily. Welcome back to everyone watching on YouTube. And this appears to have froze. Interesting. Could you make a fossil Megalith version? Yeah, we could try. As always, I think what we do is we start with pure Megalith so that we can teach people how the deck works in a vacuum. And then on day 2, we start adding stuff in. Yeah. And we see what we can do. But yeah, after seeing a whole bunch of videos and also, whatchamacallit, we spent a lot of time looking at like one channel in particular. Because it turns out they were, I don't think I would call them a scam, which is why I don't want to say their name like on a video that's being uploaded to YouTube. But like, it turns out, like, after looking at their videos, it turns out that their videos are like, they appear to be factory made. Like, they just use a template, and they put out like 4 videos a day, and they don't actually even make the deck lists for the video. They just look at Duel Live and then copy the deck list from that, which wouldn't be as bad, except they also have a thing where, like, if you want the deck list, you have to join their YouTube as a channel member and give them money. So they're like selling deck lists that they didn't even take the time to create. And to be fair, they don't have a ton of subs, and a lot of the comments are like, lol, why would I ever do this? But considering how little work, it only takes one person joining, and they've made a bunch of money. But yeah, at the same time, as much as that like kind of irks me just on a level of like, you know, it seems very creatively bankrupt. As someone who like tries to be a little bit of an artist and an entertainer, it's frustrating to see someone turn this into like a factory. At the same time, you gotta make money. Can't fault someone for making money. There are certainly worse things they could be doing. We could look at Duel Live replays for Megalith. We could. Would you like to do that, chat? We should keep the Mitsurugi. Unfortunate, but the truth, yeah. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I gotta save my anger for the people who really deserve it. And that's just something like a unfortunate, but it's not really hurting anyone. And when there are so many people in this world that are actually hurting people, it's hard to spend my time getting angry about it. Although it was a fun little like rabbit hole going down. Because it's, you know, I talk about this, and every time I say this sentence, I always feel like the most conceited, cocky person ever. But I'm like, the problem with me, right, is that I'm too nice. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I went in being like, oh, this guy he's got some flaws with his thing. I don't think this is quite working out, but, you know, he's doing the best he can. And then it was comical just to, like, the more we looked at the videos, the more we realized, like, no, they're probably not doing the best they can. They're shitting out, like, 5 videos a day. They're actually being really lazy and cynical about it. I was like, oh, it's just some kid starting their first YouTube channel, and it's probably like a 40-year-old guy who's like runs several YouTube channels all around the same kind of quality. Just a content farmer. Oh yeah, we should turn on the music here. It's like, yep, I guess in this case, I shouldn't have given them the benefit of the doubt. Although, again, you know, content farm, I don't like it, but it's not, like, evil or anything. Okay. Megalith. Do beta. Anyway, the one thing we found out is that, not a whole lot of people exploring Megalith. I think Megalith Mitsurugi is the only one where there's like kind of a consistent package, but even then, like, you know, there are some decks we play, right, where we start looking up the deck profiles. Like we were looking up Odeon, and it's like 3 of the field spell, 3 of the man, 3 of Anubis, and then 2 of each trap, 1 Temple of the Kings, 1 Circuit. Every list was just playing the exact same numbers. There was like, oh, for specifically like the reasoning build, you would play less men. For like some of the more trap heavy builds, you might play like 3 of one of the snakes. Or if you're mixing another archetype, you might just play 1 of each and have a smaller package. But it was really, really settled, where it was clear that people had played the deck a lot and found out what the best ratios were. That is not true of Megalith. As far as I could tell, there's no consensus on like how many of each card you should be playing, or if certain cards are even worth playing to begin with. Like, some people are like, yeah, play 3 Aratom. It's the, what's the Draco Tail girl? It's Phimena. You discard it to ritual summon from the hand during either player's turn. It's crazy. And other people are like, yeah, but unlike Phimena, who gets you the same extra deck with her and like any 2 cards, you kind of have to have a specific hand in Megalith, but also that hand is easier to get to. The original Phimena. Because, like, the only one that does something is Bethor. When Bethor is summoned, I always call it a her, even though it's like this big, scary, like, demon thing, because I always think of this as Beth. I take off the ore, and this is, oh, it's Beth, coming on down. How you doing, girl? So, like, some people are like, yeah, you summon this, you have a whole bunch of ways to recycle. So some people say, you know, run 1 Bethor, you summon it when you need it to pop cards, and then you put it back in the deck. And some people are like, you want to open Bethor with Aratom, so you play 3 copies. Some people play Phaleg, some people play 2 even, some don't bother with it at all. I think I've seen like every combination of Ophiel and Haggith. If you don't know, these are, when this is summoned, you can search a Megalith spell trap. And when this is summoned, you can search a Megalith monster. These are not once per turn. And even in old Megaliths, it wasn't that difficult to ritual summon these. 2, maybe even... 3 was kind of pushing it, but you could usually summon this like 2 times. What you do often is like you summon Haggith and you search a trap, and then the level 4s can ritual summon. Like if they're on the field, they're essentially ritual spells. They say you can ritual summon using this. So you would get Haggith. Haggith would summon the Ophiel from your hand that you'd search some other way. Ophiel would get you another Haggith, and then you would use Ophiel's effect to summon Haggith again, and then get a second spell. So some people play these a lot because you really want to see them, you really want to recycle them, and some people are like, you can search fairly easily 1 of each. Where is it at? Fool. Fool is almost always a 3 of. This is the best card in the deck. Quick effect. Ritual summon a Megalith from your hand or deck. Very powerful. This is like one of your main forms of interaction. The big thing with Araton, right, is like, if you open with Araton and Bethor, you can summon Bethor. What was it? It had to be Araton, Bethor, and another level 8, or I guess 2 level 4s. Although, unlike something like Draco Tail, your monsters going to the graveyard don't get you any advantage, so less useful there. But that would be a reason to play like 3 of this so that you have like a high level. The better option, though, would be to summon, like, Araton summon Fool. Because it's level 2, it can be used with anything. You don't have to have specifically another level 8. But also, if this is ritual summoned, target a ritual in your graveyard. This card becomes the level of that target, and then add that target to your hand. So, like, you discard Araton, and you send off... You can use either one of these level 4s as tribute to get this. And what this will do is grab the card back. And then if you want to get to the level 8 Bethor, this will make itself level... Like, if you used a level 4, this will become level 4, plus you grab back a level 4. So you can use itself and the one you grabbed back to make Bethor. If you used a level 8, like if you discarded another Araton, or a Bethor, or a Phaleg, then you can just grab that back to the hand, and then immediately tribute it off to summon Bethor from the deck. Very funny. You do play 3 unformed. This also lets you ritual summon. What was it? It's ritual, quick effect, ritual summon out of the deck, but you have to tribute twice the levels. So if you want a level 4, you gotta tribute a level 8. If you want a level 8, you gotta tribute 16 stars. That's 16 times the detail. Most people were playing 1 and 1. You play 3 of this. No one plays promotion. Target a level 4 or lower you control, its level becomes double. That's not worth it. That's all it does? No. So the Mitsus, yeah, the Mitsus come into play because if you open with this and one of the Mitsurugi rituals, they're all level 8. So you can, like, tribute off the Habakiri to search Ophiel. Ophiel gets you any Megalith monster. Habakiri gets you any Mitsurugi card. Or Hagith could get you the spell. So opening this in a Mitsurugi ritual is basically starters for both archetypes. You go plus infinity. Yeah, I think we only saw one list that was playing Oak. Oak was used in some, like, FTK builds. But those aren't legal in Master Duel. Oh, pardon me. If this is ritual summoned, draw a card, discard a card. Not very useful. During the main phase, quick effect, you can ritual summon by tributing monsters from your hand or field, including this. So this has the same effect as the other level 4s, but it's a quick effect. So in theory, you could leave this on the field and ritual summon from your hand. But this was released before Fool. Fool does the same thing. And is Bethor a once per turn? Yeah, Bethor is a hard once per turn. So, like, if you've already got access to these two, you don't need this. It's just redundant. Fool Lock is the new level 4. If this is ritual summoned, add a Megalith from your graveyard to your hand, so it helps make the ritual essentially free. During the main phase, quick effect, ritual summon one from your graveyard by tributing monsters from your hand or field, including this card. Seeker of Oasis, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate it. But yeah, so this one gives you recovery. It summons out of the graveyard. I think most I saw were people playing 1 of this. Someone might have been playing 2, but mostly a 1 of. And that's your Megalith package. Ugh. It's really weird, chat. You know, I've talked about I have a sore throat. When I cough, it doesn't really hurt that much. Every time you see one of those coughs, I'm mostly just like clearing my throat. But when I sneeze, it's very painful. Oh, I'm missing the new level 8. Thank you. Yeah. And the new level 8... It's a 12, so a bit more difficult to get to. But you can reveal it in your hand. This turn, your opponent cannot activate effects in response to Megaliths. Hey, I like not being able to be negated. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can negate the activation, destroy the card, and then if that card targeted cards, you can tribute a monster your opponent controls. On a 3700 body. Yeah, I think most of the lists I saw played 2. Where they're like, you want to be able to keep one in your hand that you can reveal, while also having one on the field you can summon. I feel like that would be better if you could reveal it during your opponent's turn, but you can't. But we'll probably want to get at least 2 just to make sure. So that's like the major... Oh yeah, that's what I was going to look up real quick. When does the next ban list come into effect? February 4th. Alright, so if we start climbing on the 3rd, we'll have 1 day with 2 max E's before we go down to 1. So we can build with like the 2. Ugh, pardon me. Yeah, unfortunately my throat is getting worse, so I'll probably have to call it before too long. No blueprints tonight, sad to say. But you understand, I hope. But for now it's still 2, which means... How goes the testing? We haven't tested yet. We're still building and learning. Is there a point in playing Max E now that it's a 1 of? Yes. Because it's a 1 of that like wins you the game. It skips the opponent's turn. No blue chimps. Now, like, that's the thing about Maxi. It's like, there's no cost, there's no downside. You don't have to, like, add in or play any kind of supplemental engine. You don't have to consider the format. It's just good in 99% of decks. And then from there, there's, like, so many things we can play. We don't have a normal summon, so we could play Diviner. We could also just play... We could play Manju, or even Senju. Like, that's an option. What's the 1%? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Thoughts on Molt Charmy versus Maxi? Molt Charmies are a much better designed card that are far more balanced. Molt Charmies... I guess one of the Molt Charmies will see play in almost every format. but not necessarily every format. Pre-prep, we don't play a ritual spell. I think the game will be far better with the Charmies. What's it called? Prepare. Yeah, we don't play pre-prep because if you don't know, the Megaliths don't have a ritual spell. They have a spell that ritual summons, but it's a quick play. So you can't use that. You can use preparations of rites to just search one. And I mean, we do have 3 of it, so why not? I think the why not is because if we are playing, we probably still want to play like 3 of this. And then like a Nibiru and like a Droll. It's a little boring, but when you're pure, you're gonna have to fit in whatever you can. And then we're going to play Dynamondo. We throw in a Herald. We throw in Baroni. Since we got extra Heralds, throw in Nentis. The Dominance cards. Maybe in a future build. What's it called? I take 3 Fua over 3 Ash or Droll any day. Yeah, we're mostly just playing like this and this because we might draw them off of the Fua or the Max C, but also we want to keep the cross-out designator alive because unfortunately we die to these 2. We die to these 2 and Ash. And Maxi. This is an excellent example of like a deck that dies to Maxi because it ritual summons, and every ritual summon is a special summon, so like you just cannot play a ritual deck without, like every play you do gets them a draw. Whereas Fuelos, the thing is like if they activate Fuelos, you can chain Unformed because it's a quick play and get your summon out of the deck before this arrives. And then it's just Fool. Fool summons out of the deck. Maybe you make an extra deck monster. Everything else is hand or graveyard. If we were in a if we were in a format with Perulia, that would be more difficult to play through, but we could play around it by playing intelligently. And Meowls really doesn't affect us at all. Meowls is too specific. There'll be formats with Meowls where we'll want to get them. They are collectively twice per turn. Might just be Genesis played, brained, but I've been throwing that in. Throw in the OTK engine. Sprite Elf, sure. And then maybe like what's probably the best generic level 6 synchro? Just in case we have like a level 4 and then this comes out and we don't change its level or it gets negated. No in-perm, we don't have room. The Link 3 Nephthys, yeah, that would be fun. Coral Dragon. Oops. Very funny. Oh wait, I forgot about... What's his name? Asalon? Yeah, this guy. Sorry. Oh, good point. And real quick, let me look at next month. Assuming we start on the 3rd. Yeah, we'd have to kind of get going right away because it's a short month. So we got 20 more minutes here. Let's go ahead. Ooh. Yep, gonna have some nice tea after this. Oh, I forgot. I should eat dinner here before too... That's fine. I'll be done before too long. We're going shopping. We need to make a brand new document to keep track of how many gems we spent. My computer's running slow, but RAM cost infinite dollars. I don't have enough to afford RAM. Hopefully hopefully the AI market like crashes out and then RAM would be affordable. But I think if that happens, the entire rest of the economy like crashes with it. So, like, perhaps RAM will be the least of my concerns. I thought you froze. Oh, did I freeze? Okay. Let's go ahead. Gems spent. 1K. Can we get it in 3, chat?
Got a UR. Ha! Nope, only SRs. And we already had like 2 full locks, so that don't mean anything. What happened after the .com bubble burst? This is like 8 times larger than the .com bubble, and twice as large as the 2008 housing bubble. At least if the numbers I heard are to be believed. Like, the AI bubble is like so huge it eclipses most other bubbles in American history. I just joined. What are we on? Megalith. Ever play Duel Masters? No. Oh, that's giving me all the lollipos in the world. I just want the Megalith spell. Doesn't AI also consume a lot of water? Yes. It is very bad for the environment. Oh. If only I was running DD this month, chat, then I'd be set. What do you think about DD? It seems neat, but like, I think part of what I enjoyed about it was how complicated it was. Like, I liked the spreadsheets. And unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, depending on how you look at it, they simplified it. So the deck is better if what you liked about DD was like the art style, then you can now play those cards more effectively than ever before and get to your combo. Like if you like summoning Siegfried, you got it, buddy. But if you liked the play style of it, it's... You fucking gave me a Royal Cupsy? I didn't even want a Cupsy. I mean, it is adorable, chat. It is nice that if I got, like, out of the gacha game, I got the royal copy of it. I guess I gotta make, Cupsy Megalith, you know? What can I say? Yummy Megalith. Mega yum. Send a message to Konami by dusting it. That's what I used to do. I used to at the, every time I got a royal, I would just dust it. And I actually, like, lost people in chat by doing so. We were actually talking about this earlier. A lot of people, like, I don't care about aesthetics. To me, a royal's about the same as anything else. Like, if I could get a royal for free or make any card royal for, like, a quarter or whatever, maybe I would royal out cards that I really enjoy. But, like, if the choice is, have a royal rare, or break it down and get enough dust to make another UR, it's like, I would rather just make the UR. It's a more effective use of dust. But chat was like literally begging me not to break down URs in the first year. Or not URs, royals, after I broke down so many. I was getting people like donating specifically, like, I will give you $10, just don't break down the royal. So now as a general rule, I don't, unless it's something I'm like absolutely never gonna play. Okay. Last one. Does this have the ritual bird in it too? I don't think I've gotten a copy of that. Yeah, it does. Yep, I haven't gotten one yet. I haven't gotten either of these two, which is what I want to get. The AI slop recipients of investor funds will be saved by acquisition of those vertically integrating from AI data centers. and those not directly inquired will have their market value propped up by perceptions. Forever? You think they can keep that going forever? I feel like eventually they'll have to deliver on some kind of product. And I don't think they'll be able to. Guess I'm playing Cupsy this month, chat. Well, at least we got Gorgon of Zinfonia. Probably throw that in, just because it's a good staple. Like, so that's one of the things we always talk about, right, is, not always talk about, but I brought this up many, many times. It's one of my favorite things of, like, misinformation. Oh, now we got one we can break down. But it's this idea of, a lot of people will see a graph and a line, like, curves up, and they're like, ah, well, if it keeps increasing at this rate, then in 5 years it'll be absolutely massive. And example after example after example have shown that in real life, nothing is ever a completely, like, linear curve, or even like a, what's it called? Like a exponential curve. It's always an S curve. When you see initial investment, then you have really big returns really fast, and then as you pour more and more money into it, eventually it slows down and then it plateaus, where the physics of the situation or the limitations of whatever you're doing just prevent you from going any further. It's kind of like, what was it? One of the big things that from, like, recently is, Bill Gates going into Africa, and he's like, I want to reduce malaria to 0. And he went in, and it didn't take him that much money to just get, like, basic malaria blankets and stuff. Or nets, I forget. To just get, like, basic equipment and stuff, and started handing it out, and you saw the malaria rates, like, cut in half. And he's like, well, if $1 million can do that, imagine what $2 million can do. So he threw a whole bunch of vaccination programs, and then they cut by a fourth. And then he kept throwing money at it, and he's like, I want to be known as the guy who, like, made malaria extinct. But the problem is, actually making a disease completely extinct is really, really hard. Because no matter how much you try, you're never going to be able to get everyone. And so you end up spending like tens of millions of dollars on something that already has like a 95%, he's eradicated 95% of cases, but getting that last 5% is like almost impossible. It's my birthday, man. Happy birthday, Tribal Chief. What deck won? We're going Megalith. Tribal Chief. He's redeemed a honk. Since it's your birthday, we'll get you the Epic Honk Critter. Thank you very much, Critter. I hope that has made your birthday expectations. You probably have to wipe out like all the mosquito. Yeah, essentially. And we saw the same thing. If you look at like the 1950s and 60s, people were seeing like the growth of the human population explode, and they're like, the human population doubled between these 2 years. If it keeps doubling, then we'll have like 1 billion. And a bunch of countries made plans assuming we were going to have an out of control population. And then it turns out people just started having less kids when there were more people around. And so you see the same curve. Almost every country is like, people are having like 8, 9 kids because infant mortality rate is really high. And if you have 8 kids, only 2 of them will grow up to actually like have kids of their own. And then you go in and industrialization takes place. You get soap, you get modern medicine, you get plastics. And there's like 2 generations
where people are still having 8 kids, and all 8 of them survive. And then all 8 of them have like 8 kids, and so the population explodes like crazy. But once people like realize that they don't have to have 8 kids, once they realize, like, they're like, yeah, I lived with 8 brothers and sisters, I don't want to do that shit. They just start having 1 kid, 2 kids at most. And then everything just like evens out. In a lot of cases, it ends up going down, because if you start having families that only have 1 kid, every 2 people make 1 person, so the population effectively like halves every generation. One more honk, sure, let's get it in there. One more epic honk! The extra happy birthday. And it's exceeded expectations. We went from 3 billion to 8, yeah. Well, I've got like... If you were going to give me another royal, I was going to be like, they're giving me royals in every archetype except the one I want. But yeah, all of this is to say, what happened with AI was, over the course of a few years, we went from, hey, we can kind of get them to write sentences, maybe, to now AIs can write like a novel. Or what was it? We went from like, okay, they can kind of write sentences. With like $100 million, we could have them like doing customer support. And so they gave them like $100 million, and what do you know? They like doubled the output of what they could do. They made them way, way more intelligent. And now they're saying, if we keep doubling it like this, then we're going to have a super intelligent, smarter than us, networked up to the internet, that is going to be able to solve all our problems and bring forth a new age of utopia. And the unfortunate fact of the matter is that I don't think that a large language model, even the like frontier ones that have more reasoning capabilities, I don't think they're ever going to get that intelligent. I don't think they have it in them. You'd have to start from the ground up and phrase it in an entirely different way. It can't be smarter than us because all it ever does is remix what we already have. And I don't think what we already have is enough to really get that far ahead. Plus, with all the people like messing around with the algorithms and trying to put their own political agendas into it and trying to get safeguards of some kind, like it just isn't going to happen. But people are pouring billions of dollars hoping that it'll keep doubling every year, and I think it's going to hit a wall if it hasn't already. And granted, I'm no expert on AI or whatever, but like I talked a little bit to like ChatGPT. I tested around its capabilities to see how its reasoning was, and it's like, well, between 2024 and 2025, it got better at telling me how many R's there are in strawberry. If it spends a lot of time, it can actually figure out how many paragraphs it has written. R, yeah. Thank you, no problem. Yeah, like that's the, I think that was one of the big major things that made me understand exactly what, again, the thing about AI is they say AI and it's like 20 different things, but what a lot of people mean when they say AI is a large language model. And if you talk to one and you're like, you know, write me a detailed explanation, a detailed multi-paragraph explanation of the Civil War. A couple, like a page and a half long, and it'll do that. And then you say, like, in your opinion, who was the best general of the Civil War? And they'll write up something like that. And then it'll be like, okay, on your first post, how many paragraphs did you write? And for a human, that task is trivially easy.
because you can just look at the paragraph breaks and count and be like, there's 5. But a large language model isn't seeing text. It isn't experiencing the world. It doesn't have eyes. It doesn't have a concept of what has been written. It is predictive text, just on steroids. It is the same thing your phone uses to guess your, like, what your next word is going to be. It just does it using a huge corpus of, like, text to look at. And so if you ask it, how many paragraphs did you write? What it does is it scans all the available books and looks for sentences where people asked that exact question. And then it's like, well, 80% of the time when someone asked that, the answer was 3. And so they just write 3. Sherman. Ooh, pardon me. And the companies want to destroy fresh water, yeah. And so it's like, sorry, I got distracted. There's like a huge thing, but I think they're having a conversation with someone else, because I don't know what that has to do with... Oh, they're talking about what I was saying earlier, people choosing to have fewer kids. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily framed as like they're making a conscious... When I was talking earlier about birth rates falling, I don't think it's like a conscious decision where they're like, oh, you know what would be productive is if I did this. I think it's more of just an unconscious thing. I think when people realize there's like too many people around, they're more likely, or they're less likely to have kids. I don't know, I would have to look at that though. Like, I wonder, do rural families have more kids than like urban families? That would be a good way to test that hypothesis. But yeah, so my point about the AI though is just that I don't know how you break through that fundamental barrier of like, they cannot see reality in the same way that we do. Or even in a way that is like close to ours. And some people will phrase that as a strength, but I'm like, the inability to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and count things seems like a pretty huge flaw. The younger generation is having less kids, yeah. But that's, at least right now in America, and in Japan and South Korea, that has another source that's not just like industrialization. The thing is, you see a drop-off even in countries that do have high standards of living. You still see the drop-off, but usually they settle back down around 2 and they still have consistent relationships. Whereas a lot of what I would describe as like late-stage capitalist countries have such low standards of living, and people are expected to work such long hours, and people are so isolated and alienated from each other that they don't really have the time or energy or the availability to form relationships. But you don't see that in like the Nordic countries, for example. You only see it in places where there aren't like really strong unions and like labor laws and stuff. That and like the thing about also if you want to talk about population degrowth in America or Japan has it way worse than America. China's dealing with it too, but a lot of that has although China's is for a different reason. But a lot of that stuff, it's not as simple as like looking at one thing and being like, that causes it. It's a very complex issue with a bunch of like interlocking things. It's a combination of like, I can't afford to have kids, and also, I'm too sick for this. I'm like straining my throat. I shouldn't have gotten on a tangent.
But it's not having the time and effort, but also like a lack of third places, which is a place other than work and home where you can hang out and socialize with people. We don't really have IRL town squares anymore. You have the digital town square, and using that for dating is not a good idea. Too sick for politics, yeah. If you're just joining, I have a very sore throat. Yeah, China's one-kid policy for like 50 years. That basically ensured that they were going to have population collapse. Like, that was like state enforced, we're going to have the population over the course of like 4 generations. Because if 2 people can only ever have 1 kid, the population must go down. And then the problem now is like they realized like, oh shit, this is not working out, and they took away that policy, and they're like, have as many kids as possible. And the problem, at least from what I understand, although understanding anything about China is really difficult with how much censorship and bias getting information over here, but a lot of Chinese people are like, come from, like, their house had 1 kid. So did everyone they've ever known. So did their parents. So did their grandparents. They have made it so commonplace and so socially normal for 2 parents to have 1 kid that the idea of having multiple kids is like kind of frightening and weird to them. They're like, I don't know anyone who has a sister or a brother because it was illegal. That word was almost like taboo. And so trying to reverse and suddenly be like, yeah, go have a bunch of kids. And they're like, you can do that? How would a family even work if you had 2 kids? Rural American communities still very much have town squares, but it's funny to see how cell phones have harmed the rural youth's social abilities. Yeah. What is a sibling? Yeah, and the gender balance got skewed because if you can only have 1 kid, they're like, well, I want to have a boy so I can carry on the family name. So if they had a girl, they would like, oh no, she died, so sad. That means we get to have another kid, right? It's like, this is very nefarious. Okay. Oh, I already had 3 of these. Realistically, we only need 1, right? People do the darndest thing. Okay. My apologies, chat. I was really hoping to like build this deck and maybe get a test duel in here, but my throat is killing me and I'm feeling a little dizzy, honestly. I maybe pushed myself a little too hard. I should maybe not have streamed as long or tried to not talk as much. But you caught me monologuing. You can't catch me monologuing. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it for tonight. But we got some work done. We had some nice chats or whatever. I'm gonna bring this up another time when I'm feeling a little better. We'll talk about it. Get some good. Yeah, I'm gonna rest up all today and tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be back. We can play. The original plan today was to record Masochist, because I won't be streaming Friday. So we might be doing, if I'm feeling better, we'll be doing Masochist on Thursday. For now, I'm heading out. Let's just go raid Eldius. We haven't seen them in a while. I almost did Meldius. Yeah, so go say hi to Eldius. I'll hopefully be back on Thursday. If not, it's because I didn't get better. Until then, good luck, have fun, stay safe out there. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next time.